Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you haven't been here before, hi, I am Bella, great to have you here. And if you're not already following my Instagram, you should probably do that right about now. I'll put it across the screen. You know the deal. If you have been here before and you're still not following, whatever, okay, I get it. You don't want to see me on any other platforms. And if you're not already subscribed, which I know a lot of you guys watching this are not, please subscribe. Okay, so today's video, I've literally started and ended this video like 3 times, okay? I've like gotten into it and then I stopped because I just don't know how to get my sentences in message to a place that is coherent, okay? And it's like a weird topic because it's always weird for me to talk about topics that like resonate with me, like genuinely like who I am as a person. I talk about a lot of trans stuff and just like fun stuff, so it's always a little bit weird for me to do that. You know, I always like to be real with you guys because there's always someone else going through the same thing, you know? This whole video came from my friend and we were talking today about plastic surgery. Filler, I mean, is that really plastic surgery? I don't know. Basically, she was like, I wish you would not like accept yourself, but see yourself for as beautiful as you really are. And she's like, I would never shame you for getting anything done. She's like, girl, you know I get stuff done. And that's true. We both have gotten work done. Me, I've gotten more work than her, but she was like, I don't necessarily think that you need filler. She's like, I wish you could just see yourself for as beautiful as you are. There's not always something to change. And she's just like, I don't want you to get to a point where you overdo it, right? And that isn't the first time that I've heard that, but it's been a long time since I've heard that. And also, not only has it been a long time, it was just from someone that is always very, very honest. So coming from someone that's very, very honest, it just kind of had a little bit of a different effect on me. And so she had used the term body dysmorphia. And I want to make this really clear. If she's watching this, I love you, girl. This is no hate towards you. I'm not upset. I'm not shameful or anything. It just kind of started a conversation in my head. She had used the term body dysmorphia, which is absolutely something that I deal with 100%, as do a lot of people. It's super common, and that's not like good, but it is. And then also I deal with gender dysphoria, which is a super interesting mix of the two. And I think a lot of trans women deal with both. And I think, in my case in particular, I think it becomes really difficult because transitioning, not only transitioning in general, but transitioning in the age of social media has such its benefits and so many negatives. So not only are you getting the perfect images of cis women, which is what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to get to, but you're also getting the perfect images of trans women that have succeeded and have made those strides or gotten those surgeries or have achieved the goal of looking, appearing, acting, living as a cis woman or a non-clockable woman or someone that's passable, right? And I think it's sometimes really difficult when you're constantly fed that information and already have mental issues with that type of stuff to be able to differentiate the two and for it to not get worse. I don't know. Did that make any sense? Is that like relatable? I'm like trying to like, not relatable. Is that like understood? Like, does that make sense? Or am I making sense? I really don't want to start this video again. I think it's a really interesting mix as a trans woman to deal with gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia. I think gender dysphoria can affect so many areas of your life. Not only does gender dysphoria affect my body image, you know, and all that stuff with transitioning, but also gender dysphoria affects how you interact with people in the day-to-day. And I've spoken about this before, it goes down, or it breaks down to interactions, making friends. It breaks down to speaking to new people. It breaks down to going into new environments, how you carry yourself, how you walk, how you talk. And I think, personally, I think sometimes gender dysphoria can come through in waves. And I think there can be times where you're really, really good, and then I think there are times where you're really, really bad. And that also plays a part with body dysmorphia. Some examples of how gender dysphoria can affect me, like my voice is a big one for me, and sometimes talking in quiet settings, talking in big groups, talking to new people can absolutely make me nervous and make me sometimes feel uncomfortable because there's such a disconnect between what I feel like I am and how I'm portraying myself and what I'm actually doing, I think. And that can be like super difficult. Or there's things with body dysmorphia, example, like it's so crazy when you think about it, because like me 3 years ago, and if you have seen some photos and stuff that I've shared on my channel in previous videos, me 3 years ago in the beginning of my transition, if I would have seen who I am today, body-wise, surgery-wise, hormone-wise, just like everything across the board, I literally would have died and been so proud of myself, right? Like I still sit here and I'm proud of myself, but I think it's a really interesting disconnect, because it's weird, because if I would have seen it then, I would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe I look like that. I can't believe I got all this stuff done. Like, that's so crazy. That's so amazing. But then now I look in the mirror and it's still difficult, because in a weird way, I still see that older person. It's like the most bizarre thing to explain, because it's not just like, oh, like I look in the mirror and I think I'm fat and I'm skinny. Like it goes so much greater than that. And I think that's something that gets kind of lost when people talk about like body dysmorphia and gender dysphoria. Like deeper than that. Like I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to explain it. If you know what I'm talking about, please comment down below, because I would love to hear other people's opinions on this. And it's crazy because it does go through waves. Like there's time periods where I'm like amazing, I'm on top of the world and I'm feeling like A1 and I'm like on it. And then there's periods where I'm like just not there. And I think that that's partially like a normal human thing, but I also think gender dysphoria plays a big part in that. And I think like ultimately, I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes down to acceptance of yourself, you know? But also at the end of the day, it's like, okay, as a trans woman, how do you know when too far is too far? Example, like, I'm so happy I got my BBL. I love my BBL. Like, I love that experience for me. I'm glad that I went through with it. I'm so much more confident in my body, right? I'm so glad that I've gotten fillers in my face. That makes me super, super happy, and I feel a lot more confident because of that. I'm happy that I got a nose job. Oh my gosh, I'm blessed that I got a nose job. And I'm blessed that I can do all of these things to help subdue body dysmorphia and, you know, gender dysphoria. But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like if I want to get my boobs done, then I'll get my boobs done. Or it's like, oh, okay, like I know a lot of people get a second BBL. Or like, oh, like where do you draw the line and just get to a point where like you not necessarily are forced to accept yourself, but where it does become too much, you know? Or how do you know that you're on the road for it to be too much? I think that there needs to be more education on gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia. I think, not that it needs to be more normalized, because I feel like the body dysmorphia term has been pretty like tokened and everyone kind of like knows what that is, but I also don't think that people know what the extent of that is. I also feel like, I don't know, I don't really feel like it's super, super spoken about. I don't know, I feel like I come on here and I say that about all of these like kinds of issues, and I've kind of spoken on this topic before. Like, what was it? It was like a while ago. It was like 2 years ago, I think. No, it was like a year ago, a year and a half ago. And it was a super emotional video. And at the time, it's still up on my channel. Oh my God, I'm like so embarrassed. But it's just strange because it's like I feel amazing and I like look good, but there's always something else to improve. You know what I mean? It's like, when it's enough gonna be enough. But in the same breath, it's like, is there anything wrong with that? Like, you're always trying to improve, you know? I don't know. I just feel like all of my trans women that watch, like, what do you think? Like, let me know in the comments down below. I need to read more, I guess. Gotta read more, girl. And all of the cis women that watch me, body dysmorphia, like, is that common? Like, do you deal with that? Like, just out of really curiosity. And it's crazy because you see so many people that are beautiful that just don't see it. I don't know. You know, sometimes I come on here and I just talk out of my ass and I just like to start a conversation. Who knows if this video will ever even make it up. But I just felt like I kind of just needed to like vent on the topic. And I felt like I was just thinking about it all day and it was just so interesting. And I read a little bit on gender dysphoria and I kind of was like, oh my God, like it's always been something that I've dealt with. It just has always come through waves and I've just have like, I never understand it like when it's happening, you know? I'm just like, oh, like I have anxiety, but like it's deeper than anxiety because it's like, oh, like I don't want to talk in a room because of my voice. Like I get nervous because I'm so tall. Like, oh my God, my shoes are so big. Like all these like little things that like in reality don't matter. Like I'm a human and that's what matters. I'm a woman and that's what matters. but still there's like a disconnect in your head, you know? It's weird and it's difficult, and I didn't think that when I started my transition that being what I started 2016, it's 2021, it's been oh my gosh, it's been 5 years. That's crazy. It's been 5 years. What? But I wouldn't think that 5 years down the line that I would still be dealing with some of the same issues. They're on different capacities and different levels for sure, but it's still weird. And I just want people to know that, like, even 5 years in, even after surgeries, even after hormones for what, 4 years now, 5 years now, I still am dealing with some of these issues, and it's normal and it's okay. But I just wanted to get on here and talk about it because it was just something that was so prominent in my head, and I felt like I just had to share it. I don't know. I hope this video made sense. Let me know like what your thoughts are down below. Like, I'm super curious because the trans women that watch me, do you feel like you suffer from both gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia? Let me know because I'm super curious, and I never thought of someone suffering from both. Society's standard of beautiful is bigger, plumper lips, right? Like, that's the ideal trait, at least in current trends, which is keyword, because not only do fashion go through phases and styles and eras, but so do bodies and faces and makeup. So that's fucked up in itself. I mean, literally, like, why can't everybody just be like a part of society's beauty standards? Like, why do we have to go through phases? Like, that's literally so fucked up that like bodies are like trends. Like, that's literally not okay, but that's a whole different conversation. But I just think, like, example, me wanting my lips bigger plays a part in both gender dysphoria and body dysmorphia. Guys, I don't know. I hope this video made sense, and if anything, when I edit this, I'm gonna want to die because I'm gonna make no sense. But if anything, I hope that maybe it makes one girl feel less alone in that, you know what I mean? And it made me feel less alone. So, like, because I know for a fact there's girls out there that watch my channel that would absolutely feel that. Whether you're starting hormones tomorrow, you are transitioning, and you have been for 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, or, you know, you haven't even started hormones and you haven't even started the process, you can still be gender dysphoric, you know? So I just think it's something good to talk about every once in a while and mention and normalize, you know? As fun as it is to come on here and talk about trans topics and makeup and fashion and vlogging and lifestyle and all that stuff, which is absolutely the majority of my life, like, this is still a big part, and I just wanted to speak on it. I hope this video made sense. I love you guys so much, and thank you guys so much for always supporting me and watching my videos, and it's just crazy to have such a good community. Thank you guys so much for watching me. I love you guys so much. Bye, guys.